Hey, we're live.
Oh, you're live.
Nice.
And we're like never prepared to be live.
Nope. Still sitting down.
Yeah. You want to come in a little bit more. And
Snuggle.
no. You can actually move your burner over there too if you'd like.
We're almost ready.
That way you're just more centered in the frame. That's
Yeah, I get it.
That's what I mean. Because we are the most professional broadcast.
The most. You don't get better than this. Man.
Right.
I mean, we've got prepared outlines for what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we have our crew back there behind us.
Yeah, the whole production crew doing their
Hi,
thing.
Bob. Thanks for the cue cards.
You're welcome, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, hey, we are the Northwest Brewmeisters. I'm Jamey.
I'm Steve.
We are two guys who like beer.
I think you should too.
All right, and today we are brewing beer because that's fun.
Bye.
Yoga classes don't fail me now. So today, let's just go with this. Mystery lager.
Mystery lager. But it came out well.
How many times have we told the story?
Probably like every episode for the last 5 episodes.
Has this lasted that long?
Remember, this thing lagered for like a month.
You lagered it for a while.
Yeah.
So anyways, you can see heaven right out the window there. Heaven's very bright. We're not going to fix that because we're professional and we don't have a big hops flag. We're thinking about that.
Right. Big
Or
hops.
a hops leaf bud.
Something, to put behind there to kind of kill some of that sunlight that comes through. And it's a cloudy day as well. Imagine if it was full-blown sunny right now.
They would
That sun would be like,
It would just be the heavens video with us voices coming in. Trust us, we're brewing beer. You can't see it.
You can't see it, but it's happening.
So anyways, mystery lager. It was made with one recipe, was intended to be an ale. The yeasts got switched. So we just went forward with it. And actually, both the beers turned out great.
Yeah.
I got the ale yeast in my lager recipe, so mine is gone a long time ago. Because ale is so quick. 2 weeks, drink!
Right. This was supposed to be just an English bitter, and it ended up being a mystery lager, but
it's pretty good.
And the only thing it changed was the yeast. I just actually used lager yeast, so I had to do the colder fermentation, and then lagered it for about a month in my deep freezer,
and it didn't change the flavor. Well, I mean, your yeast will have a significant impact on your flavor, obviously. So it changed the flavor, but still, I mean, if you look at the grain bill of a lager, look at the grain bill of an ale, it's like, it's not like
the grains they're real similar, you know what I mean?
So. How dare you use flaked corn in your lager? It's like, that's what I wanted to use.
That's what I wanted. That's the beauty of homebrewing is you can get away with some mixing and matching that may seem unconventional, and in the end, it just may be a flavor you didn't intend, or it might be an accidental masterpiece. You never know.
Yeah. Which is why we write things down.
Write it down, yeah.
Which is also Steve's fault because I was never into that.
So
part of that was because we're using recipes from other people. Now that I actually even write down my original gravity and my final gravity, which is like a level of detail beyond me.
I only do that for my recipes. I don't do it for the recipes that we use, other people's recipes. I'm not concerned about it really.
Pretty much what we're saying is any detail, any precision, any consistency, and any quality control is all Steve. We're pretty much lucky that my beer turns into beer.
He's self-deprecating a little bit there, but he does a fine job.
It's called fishing for compliments. Come on, dude, don't spoil it.
Oh, no, you're good, man.
No, see there. Yeah, that's what you're like. No. All right, so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and
go ahead and fire off here.
Yeah. Explain what your beer is today while I tie this off. I might wait. This is a level of our professionalism. This is a steel rod.
Somebody forgot their spoon. He didn't hear me.
I don't know how many times.
I didn't have another spoon. I thought I did.
Which is so your general kitchen spoon is not long enough to fit all the way across the pot. So I found this in the garage, and we're going to use it. But
it'll work.
I forgot my spoon. I got a different spoon over here, so we're good. So anyways, tell them about your beer.
So today I'm making a recipe of my own design.
So yummy.
That we ended up naming in the end. We ended up naming it Resurrection Ale. And it's based off a English old ale, or what they call it, English strong ale style. So it's It's a little higher ABV, kind of like up in there, like high 6s, low 7s, kind of ABV, like an IPA, but it's not hoppy and doesn't taste like you're drinking a pine tree. It's quite malty actually, and it's more like an amber ale, I guess, maybe.
You think?
It's not. It's definitely not IPA style.
Oh no,
it's more of a. It's not very golden. It's more of a brown, ambery brown color. So, but it was my very, very, very first recipe that I ever designed from the ground up. Just kind of using a table in one of the books I had read when I got started as a guide, and then I tweaked it a couple times, and so today's version actually has another tweak in it at the behest of our brew supply guy. Give me a second, I'm bringing up my notes. All right, so Resurrection Strong Ale. So I'm gonna have 9.9 pounds of Pilsen light malt extract. That's from Breeze. I have 1 pound of Crystal 20, so it's pretty light in color. And I'm using a 1/4 pound of British chocolate malt this time, as opposed to regular chocolate malt. So there's not much of a difference. Maybe a little bit of character difference. That's about it. 1.5 ounces of Northern Brewer at the 60-minute point of the boil, and then a 1/2 ounce of Cascade at the I wrote 10 or 15, so I guess it just depends on how much hop aroma you want under here. And then my yeast is the Y Yeast London 3. And the process is the same. If you've watched any of the previous broadcasts or what we've done, it's going to be the same. I'm going to steep my specialty grains for 30 minutes at 150 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I will put in all my malts, mix it all up, bring it to a boil, and let it go for an hour. And then I'll chill it rapidly, transfer it to a 6-gallon carboy, and it'll sit for a couple weeks. And then I'll transfer it to a 5-gallon carboy. It'll sit for a couple weeks again. And then I'll keg it. And we'll be drinking it in a few episodes.
Yes, it'll be amazing. So, my beer today, a little while ago, I made a blonde Bock, which is actually, that was made in this episode that was the great mistake. So I made it again. And yesterday, this time around, I wanted a little bit of a lighter beer. I didn't want it too heavy, like mouthfeel type stuff. So I went for a little bit of lighter beer. So I'm calling this a blonde Bock ale. I've got to give it a better name than that. But basically I used, and this goes back to that conversation that just happened where the grain bill can be really similar between two things.
Right.
So I basically went with my recipe for my blonde Bock, but I tweaked it a little bit, and I'm going to use an ale yeast on purpose this time. So I've got 6.6 pounds of Pilsen liquid malt extract, 3 pounds of Pilsen dry malt extract, 8 ounces of Crystal 10, 8 ounces of Munich, and then 8 ounces of flaked corn, which I asked, and apparently that flaked corn should add a little more sweetness to this, which is kind of what I'm going for. I'm not going for Pepsi with alcohol, right. But at the same time, I didn't want it quite as dry as all that. And then we're going to use Hallertau hops. Kind of going to go for a crisp finish on this one. I did not. It is. Oh. I will go get it in just a minute, right after I'm done talking.
Sorry.
Yes. Because it does look like I forgot my thermometer, because it's definitely not sitting in there. No. Anyway, standard steep, standard boil. Get it up to 150, 160. Let it do for half an hour. Add all my extracts. Bring it up to a boil. Add the first set of hops right at 60 minutes. I don't know if I want to go 5 minutes or 10 minutes for my last set.
I don't know.
I'm going to go 5 minutes.
I think I'm going to go with.
We're just making this decision.
15 minutes for mine on this one.
So, anyways, that's my beer, and I kind of expect it to be good. I think it'd be good. Yeah.
Right arm.
And now we're going to share this video with the world because,
share.
Creative. Let's see. Oops. We need to switch. Can I switch users? Add account.
All right. So I'm trying to burn through those files. It looks like it.
Might be. I got to figure. Oh, what have I done? What's going on here? Nope, that was the wrong button.
Wrong button.
Try it again. Let's do this one. Oh, go ahead. I don't care.
What are you doing? Righto. Stop.
Welcome to modern entertainment where we watch people. Now, not gotmail.com, but hotmail.com. Yeah, don't laugh at me, you folks. I have a Hotmail account. Shut up.
That was like one of the original email services back in the day, too.
The only thing older was like AOL.
That was Yahoo, that was AOL, Hotmail. Everybody and their brother had a Hotmail account back in the early days, you know.
Well, I'm not a big, I'm not an account hopper or one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a grip of accounts now. Hold on, I'm concentrating. I have a grip of accounts now, but what am I trying to say? I'm not doing well. I have a grip. They're all on my private, and they're all very, very specific. So, like, if I sign up, well, like for example, my OtterBox thing, right? I signed up with whoever I bought this. I have an account that is OtterBox at my domain. It's just that, and then the only email I've ever used it for is OtterBox. So if that account suddenly gets filled with spam, it's like, not doing OtterBox anymore. Goodbye.
Yeah, I did that too. I had an account specifically for signing up for new services, and then once I started receiving spam, I know where it would come from. Yeah, I'm like, yep, you're done, you're out.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's oops, wrong button again. But that really is the thing, is that I have a grip of them. I think I have like 25 email accounts, but they're all for these various things. And instead of putting them all into my one, so my one account, which is my favorite account to be totally honest, it's my favorite account, and somehow it got compromised. That was really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
So that one got compromised, and now I get just loads and loads of spam in that one. But I still keep it just because, for the most part, I put a like a spam blocker on it and some stuff like that. But it's not as good. That's one of the reasons I keep the Hotmail account, because no lie, man. I know it's owned by Microsoft, and actually, the whole I'm a Microsoft guy, I'm an Apple guy days are over. I'm just a whatever works.
I use
guy.
whatever works, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of tired of that.
And I really,
stuff,
I really have to admit, the spam filter on my Hotmail account works really, really good. It filters out what's supposed to be filtered out, and it doesn't filter out what's not supposed to be filtered out. And that's one of the problems with my. Oh, I figured out how to share the Discord. I'm so proud of myself. That's one of the problems with my private domain spam filter, is that sure, it filters a lot of stuff, but also it'll filter, I constantly have to check my spam filter, which is a lot like not
legit stuff is in there.
Yeah, and that's like not having a spam filter at all, because I got to check all that email anyway. So
I hate that too.
But I do. One thing I do is I make those separate accounts for each thing.
I want to check your account.
Yeah, well, but give me the little one. Or did you put it all the way away? And then I'm gonna go get my thing. I'm pretty sure we're not even close to 150 yet, though.
No, probably not. You're not even close to finishing that beer either.
What are you trying to say? I have been like explaining important things to the world. We're at 100. You know what? You know how every episode you leave me here and I'm like whistling, looking at the bots.
The bots? We don't even get bots anymore.
I know.
Bots don't even visit us.
Man. But anyways,
I'm just messing with you. You know this. You know this, man.
I do know this. But I'm going to do that to you right now because I'm going to go get my big thermometer. I will be right back.
All right.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Our bots that aren't there right now.
Yeast jello and go.
Yeast jello.
Yeast jello.
So for anybody who hasn't watched this before, if you're wondering why I haven't started yet, we try to offset our brew times by about 30 to 40 minutes. Reason being, is his burner and pot, or because his burner heat source is closer to his pot, he actually gets the temperature a lot faster than mine. There's more of a gap between the bottom of my brewing kettle and the actual heat source. And we learned the hard way one time, if we went at the same time, we're both essentially finishing around the same time, him a little faster than me, but not enough of a gap in there so that we can chill our wort. I only have one wort chiller. So we have to chill one batch of wort, get it cleaned off, ready for the next batch. And you need that 30 to 40 minute cushion there so we're not stepping over each other. Another reason is you don't want your wort to stay hot too long because it's just going to keep at the chemical level keep doing its process, and you're gonna get flavors you may not have planned for if it keeps going
like barnyard.
If it stays hot too long. So that's why we offset our starting times. Now it's funny, one of his recipes he has is a 90-minute boil, which in that case
I actually have two recipes.
Two?
Like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Which in those cases I go first, and then he starts his boil later, and it seems to work out quite well.
Yeah, I have. So there's the Newcastle clone recipe, which I totally stole from the internet. It's out there. You put Newcastle clone, it's like the first hit. Bam. Yeah. And it's a great recipe, and it tastes very, very close to Newcastle. It tastes exactly like the Newcastle clone because it is a Newcastle clone.
It is a clone. That's why it tastes like.
But it also tastes very close to Newcastle brown ale. So, anyways, so that's nice and tasty, and I like that one. But that's a 90-minute boil, and then my Scotch ale is a 90-minute boil.
Okay.
Of course, but the difference between those is with the Newcastle, you add the hops at 90 minutes. Whereas with my Scotch ale, I let it boil for half an hour and then nothing.
Then you do 60 minutes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what you made last time was the Scotch ale.
Yes.
2 weeks ago. So.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing to me that it's already halfway through May.
Right?
It's disturbing. It's like, slow down.
Whole life is going by.
Slow down, man. Slow down.
At the speed of light.
We just had New Year's. How's it already end of May or halfway through May?
Right?
Slow down, life.
You know what we need to do? We need to get little rods like this with like hooks. Because they always tie these bags at different levels. And sometimes it's real easy to get it in. Sometimes not so much. Like right now, the top of it is not under the water.
Right. I know what you mean.
But I can't really. Maybe I could get it.
Try to lower it a little bit.
I think I could. I think I can.
All right.
Now
So I'm
regretting tying it so tight.
I guess I'm going to leave you again.
Seriously?
I'm going to go grab some snacks for us.
Oh, snacks. Never mind. All is forgiven. If you're grabbing snacks, heck yeah, man.
That way you can get your beer consumed. You only have a beer.
What are you trying to say? I think he's trying to say something. Come on. I can do this. I can do this without dropping the whole thing down into the bottom. That would be bad. Okay, just untie it all the way. All the way. This is going to happen here. There we go. Little hooks that just stab through the bag so we don't have to do this game every time. All right. And great. All that work. Okay. Well, that's better. Done. Excellent. All right. And we are sitting at 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 48 degrees Celsius because this thermometer has both scales on it. Celsius or centigrade? Celsius or centigrade? What's the difference? I can look it up. That's for sure. Let's look it up. Done. You bet it autofills? Oh, Celsius to Kelvin versus it does autofill. Difference between Celsius and centigrade by ThoughtCo. Celsius and centigrade temperature scales are the same scales, where 0 is freezing and 100 is the boiling point at sea level. All right. However, Celsius uses a 0 that can be precisely defined. Here's a closer look at the difference between Celsius and centigrade. That looks like really bad button-down shirts. Ooh, pretzels! Anders Celsius, a professor of astronomy at the University of Uppsala, Sweden, devised a temperature scale in 1741. His original scale had 0 degrees at the point where water boils and 100 where it froze, so it was inverted. Because there were 100 degrees between the defining points of the scale, it was a type of centigrade scale. Upon Celsius' death, the endpoints were switched, and that's easy, and the scale became known as centigrade. Why it became known as Celsius? The confusing part here is that the centigrade scale was invented by Celsius, more or less, so it had been called Celsius scale or the centigrade scale. However, there are a couple problems with the scale. First, the grade was a unit of plane angle, so a centigrade could be 1/100th of that unit. More important, the temperature scale was based on an experimentally determined value that could not be measured with the precision deemed sufficient for such an important unit. Okay. In the 50s, the General Conference, this is a lot more than I wanted to know. Look, the point is they're the same scale.
Here,
Okay.
I'll help you out. I put some beer back in my glass for you.
You talk. I'm just going to sit here and drink.
Well, I want to have some Cascading Dark after this beer, so
Oh, you mean Black IPA?
Black IPA.
You see, hey, did you guys see Metal Lords yet? You need to watch Metal Lords, because then you'll get the joke when I say, like the White Stripes.
Yeah, the White
But if you haven't watched Metal Lords, you won't get that joke.
One thing that sucks is that beer is going to be really cold, which I know sounds weird. This beer's not meant to be.
Why?
Because I have my temperature down.
Oh, because you're lagering. Yeah, but it'll warm up.
Carbonating, so
It's easier to pull a cold beer out of a freezer than it is to make a warm beer cold.
Mm-hmm. So right now, this that I just poured is too cold. Because for the type of beer it is, This isn't fizzy yellow American beer. I mean,
So that was very interesting yesterday, by the way, as I caught the slightly pejorative tone there. In that, was that Trevor? I can never remember. That was Trevor, right?
that's Trevor. Yeah.
That was Trevor, right? He made that comment. He's like, sometimes it irritates me when people bag on American lagers. He's like, they're good beers. He's like, and you got to hand it. I mean, distributing that amount of beer consistently all across the nation, he's like, that's no small trick. He's like, he was like, I don't hate Budweiser for their beer. He says, I do hate them because of the whole mega monolithic beer company. They own everything. Right. And actually, Budweiser doesn't even own Budweiser anymore.
No.
It's InBev. InBev owns Budweiser.
Right. Aren't they like a Chinese company or something?
I think they're European.
Are they European?
Pretty sure they're European. There's InBev, and then there's Heineken. I have the power of the freaking. I have all the knowledge of the internet.
All the answers right in your palm of your hand.
And I'm just trying to guess what InBev. I know there's InBev. There's Heineken.
Molson Coors, that's the other big name.
Those are the three. Molson Coors. It's Molson Coors.
So is it
Heineken, and InBev.
Anheuser-Busch also?
Yes.
Right.
And there is some sort of dispute on the other side of the pond for the name Budweiser.
Yeah.
Which I'm not 100% sure what the dispute is. It's oddly, I think it's in India. It's not even in
India.
Yes, India. I know that sounds weird, but it's the dispute is down in India, and it's not even. I'm not very good at this whole phone tapping thing. I'm trying to. There we go. Okay, now we're watching live. It's the whole India thing is. It's over the name Budweiser, and so Budweiser beer is sold over there. Selded over there. So I need to stop constantly. I need no multitasking. It's sold over there, but it has a different name. There's just some stuff that I ran across as I was like,
What's the problem?
What's
What's
that?
the problem?
I guess it's not a big
Why
problem.
is some
There's
Indian brewery trying to say that they invented Budweiser or something? You know.
It's the name thing, yeah. And that's the big.
Well, there was a Budweiser that existed before the Budweiser that we know in the United States. It was German Budweiser, you know.
Well, Budweiser is German.
Yeah,
He came from Germany.
You know.
Just like Adolf Kors, he came from Germany. So the reality is, American lagers are German lagers. So now we get to bag on the Deutschland.
Well, I bet it's. What I understand about the reason American lagers are just so kind of light and stuff is a lot of the old world recipes were gone, disappeared,
Mm-hmm.
and so then Prohibition hit the United States, and then so when Prohibition lifted, a lot of those old recipes had disappeared, and so because resources were a little more scarce, maybe. You know, they weren't as abundant as they were now, or processing it, or plus they didn't have a lot of the technology we have now. So they invented the American style, yellowy lagers, because it's what we had at the time. And they're easy to make, they were inexpensive to make, and
cream ales came from that,
and then
which have no cream in them.
No, right. And then
they don't even have.
So it just kind of became the norm, It's like, oh, this is what we have, so take it or leave it.
Well, I guarantee that there's also cost cutting and stuff like that.
Right.
These are multi-billion-dollar businesses, and so they're interested in making money. One of the nice things about Budweiser, and one of the things you'd never like, if we were to start a brewery right now, this moment,
right.
One of the problems is, so that Scotch ale that is fermenting right now, it's going to be great. But it's going to taste a little bit different than the first Scotch ale I made.
Oh, yeah.
Because... Well, for one thing, it's probably fermenting at a different temperature than the other one did, because I don't have temperature-controlled fermentation yet. It's just sitting in the hallway.
No, we brew in garages and front yards. Not exactly,
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Top-grade brewers, man.
Wait. We are the North. What are you saying? We're amazing.
Oh. What I mean is, not like we have a facility,
Yeah, and so we don't. We don't have real good temperature control. So our beers, even though they're good, like Resurrection Ale has been great every time you've made it. It's been different every time you've made it. Part of that's because you actually changed it. You actually tweaked it.
I'm still tweaking it and fine-tuning areas I want to try.
I like the first one. The first one was amazing.
All right. We have your glass, please. Now, top us off with some Cascadian Dark, also known as a black IPA.
Like
in the
White
Pacific
Sox.
Northwest, it's Cascadian Dark. Everywhere else, it's black IPA. The reason they call it black IPA is because of the specialty grain to go into it. There's some black malt. I think there's some chocolate malt that went in there, which makes it dark, and you'll see here in a moment. But it's not heavy on the palate like a stout would be, but it's dark like a stout. When I make it again, and I will make it the black IPA again, I'm gonna make sure I double check the hops, because I either grabbed the wrong pack or the wrong packs were in the little bin labeled Citro hops.
Oh, that's
I
right.
ended up when I got home and did the batch, it turned out it had sativa hops, spelled with a C, sativa, whatever. And I was like, So I don't know, like maybe I grabbed the wrong ones, or maybe the wrong ones were in the bin that were labeled Citra. So they're going. Okay.
Yeah, we're going.
All right, let me get my fire on, and then
Yeah.
I will. I need to actually get the hot flame.
Mm.
Top our beers off. So anyway, that's the quick backstory on that. So when I do make the black IPA again, I'm going to ensure I have Citra hops because it's supposed to taste like a standard IPA, just a little different, obviously, because it has the darker specialty grains in it. But it's supposed to be hoppy and citrusy. However, this Cascadian Dark didn't quite turn out citrusy. So when I make it again, I want to ensure I have the right ingredients because there was actually a different flavor I was intending to make, and this didn't quite turn out that way. All right, guess I should get my grains in the water as well.
Good idea.
Yeah, good idea, man.
Good idea. I still don't quite have this YouTube thing figured out. No, that's just a thing. That's it. Share this. Ooh, share it. Which Twitter is that? Wrong Twitter. Wrong Twitter! Oh, I just shared it.
There we go.
There, and there.
Thermometer ready.
Sweet. I'm getting this figured out, Steve. You look out, man. I'm gonna be like a techno master.
Good. About time.
I know things. I know what Google is.
Google's the enemy.
Actually, I do know a few things. Shh. We are using their services right now.
We
We love Google. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, you think Google pays attention to this channel? They do. I mean, obvious, because there are some folks that have gotten like suspended and banned and things, and nobody knows who these people are.
Right.
Little tiny channels and boop. So obviously they do pay attention. No, don't you hate that? I'm going to test something. Because last time it.
Oh no, there we go.
Getting it?
Yeah. Trying to tie this off so I have some
Mm-hmm.
dangle in there.
The dangle dangle?
Still not right.
That wasn't even tied, dude.
Wasn't even toyed.
That was just waiting to drop off. Right. Microphone worked this time. Last time the microphone was dead for the first hour of the show. Fortunately,
hear you.
one of our friends showed up and let us know.
I know, right? We can't hear you. Man, this knot is not in a good spot. Don't pun intended.
No, same thing with me. It's like where it got tied, it's like that knot made it hard to tie it around the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what this thing is, right?
What?
This.
Yeah, it's for like a sprinkler.
Yeah, for turning on a water valve.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
I'm glad you had it.
I don't know where it came from because I don't have those kind of outdoor sprinkler valves, man.
Do you have? It might turn off your main water
Could.
to the house.
Yeah, it might.
I know that's what I have on my house now. What they had, because my house was built. I mean, I'm talking about the little house in town. It was built in the 50s. Whoever put a ball valve, which is just a twist valve, like with the big knob on it type deal. Except they put it 3 feet underground with a hole this big.
Jeez.
So it's like you had to somehow shove your hand that deep in the hole. Who has 3 foot arms? I do not have 3 foot arms.
I don't have 3 feet arms.
And I have long arms. I do.
All right, let's get some brew.
You did smack the packs, right?
I did.
Okay.
I smacked them at 2 o'clock.
Good deal. Well done.
That's my timer for smacking is 2 o'clock.
I gotta tell you, man, these thermometers were a great investment.
Agreed. Really well.
I mean, the little thermometer was doing all right, as in we were making it work, but
Kind of bigger, better. It's just quick reference. The numbers are bigger.
like I can see it from here instead of having to lean over and look down, and then
You don't have to worry about batteries or anything, man.
I do still have to wear my glasses.
Don't worry about dropping it. You know?
Clips to the side of the pot. Yeah, there's all sorts of benefits to this thing.
Yeah, I'm glad we got these.
So yesterday, what did we do? Was that yesterday? It was yesterday. What did we rack?
I racked the spring IPA
Into the keg and let it
into
cold
the
crash in the
and it was
keg.
cold crashing. I racked it yesterday morning-ish. I'm cold crashing it until Monday, and then I will put the gas on it and start carbonating. What I mean by the gas is my CO2.
I was totally not expecting this beer. I mean, I just wasn't thinking. I took that first swim. I'm
I was
like,
like, what do you mean?
whoa!
Yeah, here's the Cascadian dark. Dark like a porter or a stout, but not heavy.
Nope, not heavy at all.
And yummy.
Has a slightly thicker mouthfeel than, say, like a light lager, but more like an IPA.
Yeah.
Just any IPAs. Most IPAs have a little bit more body to
Yeah,
them.
they typically do. They're a little heavy on the mouth sometimes. All right. I'm not quite at 100 yet. I'm getting there. I need up a little bit.
It's a nice thing about water. You can't burn water.
Yeah.
Although my sister once tried. She just managed to evaporate it all the way and then
Oh,
killed the pot.
your pot, yeah.
And then let's see. So we moved. So I made a Smokey Porter, which was based off. The Smokey Porter was based off one of my recipes. I've made a couple recipes now that were based off another recipe I made. I just tweaked it a little bit to change it different.
Right.
So I think it was made off the Russian Imperial Stout. Maybe it was made off the Scotch Ale. Anyways, I twisted that around. And that one tasted really good. We did a little test taste.
See how clear this might be. Not very clear.
And then we moved my Scotch Ale into the secondary. That's what we did. So I got a couple of dark beers in the pipeline. My breakfast ale should be ready to drink by like next week, easy.
Easy. Yeah. And then, oh yeah, today I racked the lager from last brew day, from 2 weeks ago.
The lager,
The actual lager, the intended lager.
the one that you did on purpose.
Yeah, it's one of their recipes, cold something.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of it though. So,
Wasn't it Clear Lake or
Clear Lake or Cold Lake or something? Yeah.
Cold Clear?
It was very light, like light in color, like
Yeah.
you know, kind of like
A yellow fizzy?
kind of like pouring a Miller Lite in a glass. That kind of color is what it looked like to me.
Okay.
Which is fine. It's a lager. It's
I
supposed to be a
don't-
light beer.
I gotta tell you, I do not see a very big color
And it-
difference between.
And if you imply that lagers are light, it's just a lighter bodied beer. Yeah.
Well, what I've always read is that lagers are supposed to have. They're supposed to have like a real crisp finish. You know how our ales, they all have some sort of finish, whether it's caramely or citrusy or
There's always
fruity
some
or
after flavor.
something.
Right.
After the beer has left the mouth and traveled to the belly, it leaves a lot of this pleasant afterness. And lagers aren't supposed to. They're supposed to be kind of like drinking water in that regard, where once it's gone, it's like, that's what I read. You know, I think that's one of the problems. I think you have to work harder to make a lager an interesting beer. You also have to be more patient, and I'm not good at that. I like ales. 2 weeks, drink!
Oh, that's even. 2 weeks is even probably more than you need. In most cases, you can move it out of primary in 10 days. And the secondary thing isn't even required. It's just give it a chance to clarify it. Let it clarify a little more, because you transfer it out of the original, ferment with all that crap that settles, and then you give it a chance to settle some more. This definitely helps clarify your beer. And there might be a little bit more fermentation that happens because when you move it, you stir it up a little bit.
Well, there's still yeast suspended in there because that's what the bottling guys depend on.
Yeah, if you're going to do a full bottle job, you mix in some sugar in there as well, and then you bottle all your stuff up, and then that yeast will eat the sugars that are in there and naturally carbonate the inside the bottle.
Although we found, and I'm sure they're very common now, we found those little
I got one bags, but I call them gumdrops, but there's all bags.
gumdrops, but one bottle.
See those bottles there? There's some to go in there. So
you gonna bottle some stuff?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna bottle some of those big ceramic, like resealable bottles, and be like, here's some beer, but I want the bottle back.
Do you have the bottling thing?
Yeah.
You got one of those?
Right there. You should have one too, my original one.
I have 3.
You have 3?
Yeah,
Did you buy one or something?
No, there were 3 in that bag. There's a long tube with a check valve in the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should just be I only ever had the one, and then that one I got from Reed when Reed gave me his little brewing stuff.
It's like an amoeba, and it just.
So I think you might have bought one or something.
Or picked one up somewhere. Or maybe I'm mistaken and I don't have 3. But I managed to find all the gear that you left with me.
Okay. But yeah, I have one right there. Obviously, I need to run fluid through it and clean it up. I've never used it. But I want to bottle, not all those. I think there's 12 bottles. Or maybe just bottle like a 6-pack of maybe the spring IPA, so I could share with some of my friends at work.
Well, I got to tell you, you want to do it that way because I did.
The bottle back.
I did the whole funnel method. Oh, geez, that was just messy and it took forever.
No, I'm going to use the gravity with the little pop-it valve, bottling wand. I think as they call it wand. I believe what they call it.
Yeah. So what do you do? What's your method going to be? Are you going to use an auto siphon into that thing?
Yeah, I'm going to take the rubber off that hose off the auto siphon and put that or connect it to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then I'll have the wort that I'm going to bottle higher up. I'm just going to use gravity and let it. And then I'll probably have to use either the floor or maybe like a little stool that I put things on when I siphon things into it. So cool. That's my plan at least. I think I'm only gonna do like 6 of those. Those bottles are like 22-ounce bottles as well.
Right. So you'll need. I was reading on the package because I have the same package of stuff.
I might go buy some seals. Right? These seals look like they're okay. As long as they're not dry rot, they should be fine.
Yeah, you think so?
But yeah, these things are ceramic, like big, thick ceramic bottles.
So like hard to explode type things.
Yeah, hard to explode. Hopefully, they can take a beating if they drop. If somebody drops one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely. I want to bottle some of that beer up, share it with a couple people at work. See what because we always invite people over to come get a garage beer, but people never make it over. So
I come over all the time, man.
Well, I know you do. I'm not people I work with.
I gotcha. Speaking of,
they'll be like, yeah, if I'm in town, but a lot of them don't live here, so they're like, yeah, if I'm not in town, I said, no offense. No one's ever said this, but I imagine it's like, no offense, but I'm not going to make a special trip out, just to have a beer. I mean, I would, but
well, yeah, because you know how important beer is. I mean, some people.
No, I don't fault my friends at work who don't make it over.
Well, you've got a good point. That's like my church. There's a lot of things that go on in my church I don't do. It's just like, you got to come down for this? It's like, no, yeah, it sounds like fun, but it's an hour one way, and I work all week.
Some of the guys I work with live south of here. I'm like, I don't blame you, man. If you're not coming into town, yeah, that's a drive, especially, not that I would ever want anybody to come over and get drunk and then put themselves at risk, but if they don't have a DD, they're only going to probably have a beer or two, and
Yeah, so you're coming up here,
I don't blame them for not wanting to make that drive. It's fine, I'm not worried about it. Maybe it's more beer for us, man.
So today, I forget what we're talking about, but I was, because we're at lunch after church, so everybody's downstairs chatting and stuff, and I was sitting with some friends, and they were talking. I forget what I was saying, but I was talking about, just kind of hardcore ideological stuff, and stating my opinions and this, that, and the other. And one of the guys goes, "Do you have any friends?" I'm like, "I have one."
I got a friend.
And my friend Julie, who's just super softy, right? Yeah. She's like, "Oh, you have to have more than that." And I thought about it. I was like, "Nope." I got one. One friend. Such a lonely person. I'm a friendly guy. But my thing is I don't make super strong attachments, like I don't. It's like I have tons of acquaintances who I think of in a positive manner and who I talk with well. I'm
the same way. I think we can blame our careers. We're both retired career military, and I intentionally didn't make close friends because I knew I was going places, or they were going places.
I found there was two types in the military. There really were. There were people like you and I who were just like, you're cool, we're drinking, stay in touch, whatever. So I'm talking about how we dealt with other people.
Oh, right.
There's people that, they were friendly, but it's like, hey, come on, let's be bros and stuff. And they're like, no, that's okay. Yeah, I like you, sure. I'll drink a beer with you after work. Or sure, I'm going to go home now, type deal. And we made so I've got 3 or 4, maybe 5 military friends from my whole career that I stay in good contact with. I know what's going on with their lives. I know where they are. I know their children, etc. You're my strongest. Part of that's because you are here in town.
It's easy for us to do it since I'm here now.
Most of the others are thousands of miles away. But there was those types, and then there
Where
were.
is Mom? Where is she?
She's getting her toes done. What is the problem?
I dropped it. And it shattered.
It's fine. Relax.
It's done.
And we mentioned that this is the most professional broadcast ever. So I'll continue on with you people who, none of you at this point, but some of you might watch the replay on a night of drunkenness where you're just wondering what the heck this is. Point being, some people, they know each other for 3 days and they are blood brothers or sisters or brother sisters. They just made super fast, super strong relationships. And I don't know how strong those relationships held. Some people, they know all sorts of people. You remember Jim? It's like, I do not remember Jim. I'm sorry. I'm a jerk. Try to remember these guys, but I don't. I wonder if my flame went out. It's still got hotness down there. No, still got flame. Still doing all right. Give it a little tweak there. But I do think I think Steve, when he was here moments ago, that was maybe a defense mechanism or something. But yeah, I did several commands, several different parts of the world, several different parts of the United States, stationed here and there. Not super tight with a whole bunch of people. I knew them, I was friendly with them, hang out with them every so often. Formed a pretty good bond with my wife. She's still my wife. So yeah, that one stuck. That one stuck for sure. But I got a lot of buddies that I haven't talked to in a while. I gotta admit, as toxic as Facebook can be, and I love Facebook. I love to go on there and argue politically. But as toxic as it can be, that has been useful in keeping track of some of my friends, from past life.
Wow.
Am I doing the rest of this alone?
No. Teenage daughter, she dropped her phone, so it's spiderwebbed.
Mhm.
She's losing her mind. I'm just trying to tell her it's okay. You know, and I guess she's concerned because her auntie paid for the phone. It's on her. She was on her auntie's plan because it's easier that way.
Mhm.
You know, because they,
Mhm.
you know, because I had her on my plan for a long time, but it was just easier to move her over to her auntie's plan. That
No,
way,
I get
you
it.
know, the
My,
family of four thing, and because you know,
yeah, my
she's
wife.
the fourth person for that family of four thing.
My wife is actually on her brother's plan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, and he pays for the whole thing.
Sometimes it's easier that way.
Yeah, it's just, you know, families do families. You know. Oh, where you at? Set the timer. Did you go scorching past 150?
No, I'm close though. So, no, my time is
Yeah,
set.
you just
Yeah,
went.
I just flamed out. I heard it, but that's right. So I'm just gonna flame it out for now.
So yeah, my wife does that. You know, her brother pays for her
Gotcha.
phone. I think he pays for his mom's phone and his father's phone too. So
Oh,
it's
it's on
similar
like a family plan or something. Yeah.
family of four. Maybe that's what
That's what
it
they
is.
do because you know my sister-in-law, she just has her one son, you know, on that plan.
Mhm.
So it's to fill in that gap. My daughter is on her plan. Anyway, she's just losing her mind because you know it's Sunday and I don't even know where the hell they go for their place.
What are they, T-Mobile?
I think so.
Did you just say HE double hockey sticks?
I think I did. So we're PG.
Actually, I think we're still G. I know I've heard that word in a G
In a
film.
G movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's when you say
Standards. They can read lips. Great. Now we're PG.
I didn't say anything.
They read
I
your lips.
implied.
You implied.
I didn't even mouth it. I just kind of implied it.
That's it. Be careful. I like our G rating. Family friendly. Look, we are not going to get kids into brewing beer if they're not allowed to watch our videos.
I know, right? Wait, kids brewing beer?
What's wrong with that?
They're not going to have as much fun as dad or mom would have, you know?
Well, yeah, but if they stay home, they can drink the beer. Been trying to get my kid to drink beer for 12 years, man.
Your kids are 22 years old. They still don't want to drink beer, man.
I know. What's the... What? Why have you cursed me? I will never get to drink a beer with my kid. Punk.
Maybe one day. Though.
No, Dad. I like Coca-Cola. Ah!
Maybe he'll change his mind later.
Yeah, and maybe pigs will fly.
You can already have, man.
Oh, well, see, there we go. Then we're done.
Just consult Pink Floyd on it, you know?
Pink Floyd or not.
You're like, ah.
I don't think we can push this joke much further.
Probably.
This is good stuff, man. Cascadian.
Dark.
Cascadian.
So the good news is, I know you can hear my wife pulling up.
Mhm.
She's already done the grocery shopping. It's done. So I just need to go let her know about, you know, Riley freaking out.
So you're still going to abandon me.
I'm going to have to temporarily. Sorry, folks. I have to take care of a family issue, obviously.
It's all right. I
I'll
got
be back.
6. I've got 6 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, mine. I'm at like 160 exactly, so I definitely had to kill my flame.
Ooh, you ran it right to the edge.
Yeah, well, that's because I was dealing with my daughter there.
Yep.
So.
Hey, actually,
You need me to grab something while I'm up?
my 2 tubs.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'll be doing your thing when it's time for me to add sugars and malts and stuff
Right.
like that. And a ladle. There I am, alone on the phone. All right. Modern times, modern reactions to things. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
All right. So, here's this stuff for you.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
Here's the ladle when you're ready for it. Ladle.
Kick the purge bucket over here to
Yeah.
put everything in.
Wash it today because it was getting a little ripe.
I got it. All right. Go explain the latest emergency to your wife.
Yeah. Seriously.
Bring your beer. Or don't.
It's always nice to have a beer.
It is nice to have a beer. And if you don't bring your beer, I'll get ahead of you.
And that's why we brew beer, so we always have beer.
Always have beer. I just like being able to say I have 15 gallons of beer in my house.
Right.
All the time. In just a few minutes, it will be time. What am I looking for? Timer. 4 minutes and 25 seconds, give or take. It will be time to remove the bag of grains, and it will be time to add the sugars, which we have. So today's sugars, go ahead and get a little closer to the camera. I'm going ahead and show you. So today's sugars, got right there, CPW Pilsen Light, which is pure malt extract. You know, I never asked. It's non-diastatic. It's unhopped. It's 3.3 pounds. I don't know if this is made from 2-row or 6-row. Let's see. Made from only the highest quality malts. Okay. These brewer's grade malt extracts are produced in a modern 500-barrel brew house using a multiple step infusion brewing process for high fermentability and fan. Critical for brewing. For superior quality, freshness, and brewing flexibility. Brew with Breeze, a tradition since 1876. CBW, concentrated brewer's wort. So, actually, some exciting things, which I should wait for Steve to tell you, because we can talk about them. But, well, you know what? Yeah, I will. First, I think you should look up. We're going to add 6-row versus 2-row barley. There. So, total squirrel moment here. I went to a brewery on Thursday, and I looked for their beer menu. I wanted their beer menu. I'm in a brewery. We should have a beer menu that's huge, right? No, I had to scan the little Q&R code with my phone. I don't know about y'all. Maybe, yeah, I'm a little bit of a dinosaur, I guess. But geez, I do not like that. I don't like it. I want either a laminated menu or a paper menu or something that I can hold in my hand and read. I don't like doing everything off my phone. Phone. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but still. All right. So, lots of talking, yada. All right. 2-row or 6-row, American question. Apparently, Europeans don't care about their barley. Only Americans care about their barley. Most of the rest of the world uses 6-row only for livestock feed. I thought 6-row barley had been bred especially to increase output. Turns out, it's a naturally occurring result of a pair of mutations, one dominant, one recessive. Both 2-row and 6-row barley have been around for a long, long time. Breeding efforts of the last half century have reduced and perhaps functionally eliminated most of the differences between the two types. Economies of scale at big breweries make many of their differences moot. There are still distinctions between kernel size, extract protein, and enzymes. All this information can be found online, yada, yada, yada. So 2-row barley, the kernels are symmetrical and of an even size, and they tend to absorb water at about the same rate, and germinate and dry about the same. They're also easier to grind in 2-roller mills. So apparently 2-row barley is what most of your malts are made from. 6-row has a symmetrical center, but the 2 lateral rows of kernels are shorter, thinner, and twisted. Maltsters often separate each lot of 6-row barley into several kernel-sized fractions Since they differ in water uptake and germination speed, a 6-roller mill with a screening system, often used at major breweries, can make grist of the. It's time. It's time. So, more on the different barleys in a minute. More on that soon.
All right, there we go. Now,
So, now we can move this. Give it a few good soaks.
very low flame.
You still holding temp though?
Yeah.
Good deal.
It was starting to get to a low point. There we go.
It's important not to squeeze the bag here, as tempted as I am. But we won't do that.
No, at least you don't have to use the sprinkler key anymore.
Okay, so we are printing pizza or spaghetti.
Pizza.
Yes.
If you want,
Pizzas.
take the card if you need it.
Okay, take your pizzas. I got coupons.
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 I want the coupons.
Okay.
Take your pizza.
I think she's saying do that now.
Pretty much.
All right, go pick your pizza. I've got stuff to do now. I can be entertaining.
Yes. Oh, I already know what I want. I'll just tell her. I'll just
Alright.
text her.
I want whatever she wants.
So,
All right.
I'm gonna get my wrong app.
You gonna get the one with the jalapenos on it?
Definitely.
Tried that pizza. It's ouchy.
It's ouchy. Tastes like burning.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Tastes like burning. Tastes like pain. Unpleasant. Ah, shoot. You know what? I'll be right back. I need to rinse this spoon off.
Yeah.
Well, it's been sitting on the garage floor.
Oh. All right, folks. Sorry about that. We're just arranging. Oh, it's starting to rain. How nice. We're arranging dinner plans for this evening. Over here, we're over on the American West Coast, so it is about 10 minutes to 5 p.m. or 1700 for you military types, or a lot of European countries actually use that 24-hour clock.
Yeah. I do know that. I know that when I was in England, it was both ways.
Yeah.
Like it
I've
wasn't.
seen it both ways.
It wasn't strictly. Of course, apparently England just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're both ways on a lot of things. Miles, kilometers.
Gotcha.
I do think, and of course, any English friends who want to just contradict me that actually live in England.
Well, I guess they're not able to join us today, but that's okay.
Well, it is.
So was he in a pub last time?
No, he's probably at his house.
No, last time. Was he at a pub?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's probably at his house. So he is legitimately a professional live streamer.
Right.
You know, he does games. You know,
Oh, yeah. We talked briefly about that. Yeah.
and he's got a couple. There's one company that was trying to. Basically, they're trying to push their game. So they contacted various people. And for a while-
kind of like a sponsorship thing or whatever, endorsement thing or something.
Yeah, something like that. But it was just they had people, and they actually.
Oh, did you just drop the spoon? Here, you can try this.
About it.
You did that on your own. I didn't even burn you this time.
You're right. Give me a little.
little.
So, anyways, for a while there, you could watch them on Twitch, but
Oh,
then
okay.
the game, it's State of Survival is the game.
Not familiar with that one.
Yeah, well, something about tomatoes and zombies. It's interesting. It's actually kind of a cool game. It's kind of a strategy type game.
Horror survival kind of. If you're talking like tomatoes and zombies.
Yeah, well, no, the joke about the tomatoes is that apparently in the game, tomatoes are currency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just something they decided to do with sure. Something the developers did, kind of silly, haha, fun. But anyways, they actually paid him to stream, but then what the company did is they contacted all of their streamer folks that they were paying and moved them in game. So now they still do this streaming thing, but you have to like have State of Survival and subscribe to that and something. I don't know exactly.
Huh. Well, that's fine.
So anyhow, he was probably just away from streaming. Sometimes he holds really odd hours.
Oh, hey, no, that's fine. I was just
What
curious.
time is it?
No, the reason I'm asking is I could swear he was talking about broadcasting us to the pub. I thought he said.
Oh, so that's on his Discord channel.
Yeah.
One of his servers is called The Bar.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
like he was like
And-
hanging out at a bar. Like, hey, check out
No,
our
no.
American friends here.
No.
Making beer.
Nope, one of the servers is called The Bar.
Okay, that makes sense then.
And I shared this to The Bar this time.
Okay.
But a lot of the folks that hang out in the bar and stuff, a lot of the folks on his server are English as well.
Gotcha.
And it's like, what, 2,300 in England right now? Is it almost 5 o'clock?
Probably, yeah.
They're 8 hours ahead of us,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's almost 5 o'clock here, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost 11 o'clock there, which, I don't know, 11 o'clock on a Sunday depends on, I don't consider 11 o'clock too late.
I don't know. To me, it's late because it's Sunday, but maybe I'm just kind of thinking old-fashioned, like a Saturday or Friday. 11 is early, you know.
I don't know, man.
I guess because it's a work night. Maybe 11 feels late for a work night.
So, when I'm riding my bicycle to work the next day, and I have to be out the door by 0700,
Yeah.
11 o'clock is definitely bedtime. But if I'm driving, and I don't have to leave until like 7:30 or so, I'll stay up till midnight, no problem, every night.
Yeah, I know that about myself. As you know, I work nights,
Right.
and during the regular work week, I'm up at 8 o'clock to get.
Is that rain?
It's raining. Yeah, it's raining. To get Bailey to school.
I need
Yeah.
to go close my window.
Oh,
Sorry. Continue your story though. It'll survive for a few
you
more
want me to go
minutes.
closer, or do you want me to take over the duty?
Tell you what, I will. Well, here,
Where's your keys?
let me get there in my pocket. Because that's where keys belong. Oh man, old knees, not liking it. All right,
I got you.
so I'll be right here.
You're right there. We should.
Yep, and we'll grab this beer. We're almost done with the staying on the knees part of things. So anyhow, the point of all that talking back there was just that, 11 o'clock's not too late. You could come by and watch. It'd be fun. You could make snarky comments. We could respond. Or not. It's up to you. I don't want to take your power. So sticky. Why are you laughing at me? You're laughing at me right out. You have a grin. Why are you grinning?
Your radio station. Crack me up.
¿Por qué no te gusta el americano?
Reminded me of back home.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why I was listening to that.
I have 11 minutes.
That is actually not my favorite form of Hispanic music. That it's not even mariachi. What is it? It's like Tex-Mex.
Yeah, no, mariachi has a very distinct sound.
Yeah, that's not mariachi, but
It's just folk music is probably what you have it on.
well, no, that's a very North Mexican like specifically the country of Mexico, North Mexican style of music. It's really
The
popular.
radio station you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is not surprised because we have a huge Mexican population up here in Washington.
Yeah, Mount Vernon area is pretty.
And more in Oak Harbor.
Yeah.
You know, there are several folks who come into the store and they don't speak a lick of English. You know? So, yeah.
It's all right. You got
Anyways.
a drive mall too, don't you?
What? I do. We'll grab that right here. But, so yeah, there's several. The population is getting bigger. Man, I gave one of the guys brought his kid in, right? Kid's standing there. And I'm dying. Because let me tell you, university Spanish does not teach you how to sell auto parts.
I bet, man.
You're not going to talk about carburetors, dual overhead cams, and variable valve timing in college Spanish. They're just not going to do it.
Doesn't exist, does it?
Right. So I got to figure this stuff out. Right? And then the other thing is, so like I said, they're mostly Mexican, the folks up here. And so not only do you get to play with vocabulary that's not common to college Spanish, but you also get to play with what this is called in Mexico as opposed to what it's called in Spain, as opposed to what it's called in Argentina.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's, the Spanish, the dialect changes based off where you're talking about. It's not the Spanish is not universal, in that sense.
Right, it does. And it's not even just the dialect. I mean, it's completely different words.
And context too, yeah.
Yep. And sometimes they'll come in and they'll ask for something, and I'll be like, what are we talking about? I don't know that word. And what's worse, my dictionary doesn't know that word.
Like, is that slang?
Yeah, so I know enough Spanish to like literally I know enough Spanish so they say something and I won't hear it, and they'll say it again and I won't hear it. And so I can say, okay, stop, spell it, right? Because I can say the alphabet in Spanish. I mean, it's really close to the alphabet in English. Okay, it's not even remotely. But actually, it is really close. Like all of most of our letters are like T, P, D, F, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you take that E sound and turn it to an A sound, and that's most of the letters.
Oh, right.
But the thing that I was going to say is, what was I going to say? Oh, just the words. It's like sometimes they'll know what they're saying, and I just can't find it. It's like, go to Google Translate. Google Translate doesn't know it. It's like, that's great. This is really colloquial. After a while, I figured out, like basta. Basta de los frenos, which is brake pads. But if you look up brake pads in your dictionary, like you can find brake pads. Right? It ain't bastas.
Different word.
Yeah, that word doesn't exist. Pila is a word for battery. But if I say pila to Wendy, she thinks like a AA battery.
Like a little battery.
Like that, right. So when I think of car battery, I use bateria. Bateria, and they know, the thing is, most of the real common words are, shock absorbers, that was a tough one. And I don't know the word, I'd have to
There's
look
probably
it up
not
again.
an exact word for it in Spanish, is there?
Yeah, there is a word for it, it's one word, but it is a little bit different. You know what the great one is? You'll love this one. Camshaft. So the word for camshaft is actually a set of words. And it is árbol de levas, which directly translated is tree of weights. I am never getting from tree of weights to camshaft. There's no leap that I can make.
Right? It's like,
It's like that one's not happening. Sorry. Tree of weights.
Wait, what the? All right.
But
I'm gonna go clean this thing up.
all right.
So I'm gonna need it next. And I'm gonna swap up one and move my carboy over, roll it over.
Well, I should do that to mine. Just sitting right over there. Just make sure all the sugars are off the bottom. Last time on Northwest Brewmeisters, Steve might have scorched quite a few of his sugars. He had little black floaties in his beer. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They went right to the bottom, hit the flame, and scorched.
Okay. Right after mine. I have 4 minutes left on mine. In a minute, I'll go grab my malts.
All right.
Those are going to go in here real soon.
So mine just needs to get up to boiling now.
Right?
So I think I finally got all the sugars off the bottom of my pot.
Oh.
I think that's what's scorching on the bottom of our pots. And you just got to clean them and clean them and clean them and clean them.
Yeah, I did.
You're in for a longer haul because you boiled over 2 weeks ago. So
I did a good scrubby today. You know what I found that worked pretty well? A wooden spoon. Helped scrape some of that stuff off with a little bit of dish soap at the bottom. Yeah.
really,
A little bit of dish soap in the bottom with some hot water, hot as you can get it. Let it soak. And then I took a wooden spoon. It was more like a wooden spatula because it had an edge on it. And just all the. I couldn't get 100% of it up, but I got probably, I'd say 92% of it. That's a weird number, but most of it was gone. And I
I get the idea.
and I used other scrubbies too, and some elbow grease. Just took a while. So yeah, I'm not gonna make that mistake this time. I'm gonna make sure my flame is off now because I was getting too hot again.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it off until my malts are in there.
Right.
That's what happens. I didn't stir it. I didn't have it whirlpooled enough, and it burned. Literally burned a little bit.
Yeah, you just scorched it, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I remember I was kind of having a game with it during my regular boil. Some of the big flaps would come up. I'm like, ooh, trying to grab it with the spoon. It was fun. In a stupid way.
That's there. I'm figuring this stuff out. I gotta tell you, it is so okay.
Sorry, I'm grabbing my tubs, man.
No, go grab your tubs. I'll just sit here and look adept.
There you go.
Adept. Not exactly sure how you look adept. Maybe it's this. Is this an adept look? Very adept. Very adept. Or maybe I need to balance on top of the table with a wine glass in one hand and something else in another. I don't know. Maybe we'll give up on the adept part of things. Climbing up through 160. But yeah, last beer day, not last beer day, but the beer day before that, Steve's pot legitimately boiled all the way over. And I feel like it was my fault. I saw it starting to grow, so I'm sitting right here, and his pot's there. And I'm trying to get up, and I got stuck on something in the chair, and I was doing the whole, and Steve's wort is going everywhere. I felt really bad about that, by the way.
Oh. Yeah. Shite happens.
That's Irish, and we're in America, so we're good.
We're good.
They don't. Americans don't know what that means. They're confused.
True.
It's so weird how much I love being an American, and yet I just bag on them.
You know, we're certainly not infallible.
No,
As much as some of these people in this country think.
Well, that's like I was talking. I forget who I was talking to, just about work ethic. You know, and it was an immigrant conversation, and so I've worked with a lot of immigrants in my life. You know, and tell you what, when it comes to working with someone, I will work with an immigrant any day of the week because they work like mules.
Oh, I know, man.
It's just crazy. And then you got like your young kids that you were talking about the other day. You know, it's like, well, I worked hard yesterday. It's like,
that was yesterday.
that was yesterday. You got to work hard today too. So, never had that. Although one of the guys in the conversation, he says, yeah, you're right about the first generation immigrants. He says, by the time you get to the third generation, though, they're just Americans. And he's absolutely right. Ooh, that's dark.
For now.
By the time you get to the third generation, whatever family has moved into what, and it's not just America. Let's pretend, you know, we moved to Italy. You know, we would always be American our whole lives. You know, living in Italy until we die, but still American.
Right.
And your kids would be, well, let's pretend our kids moved to Italy. They would be American their whole lives. Their kids would be Italian. Their kids would be Italian, but they would remember a lot of American culture and stuff.
Right.
And they would have heavy American influence. But their kids would be fully Italian. Good chance they wouldn't even speak English. They'd just speak Italian.
Right.
Why? So, same thing here. Obviously, most of the immigrants here are from the Latin American countries. You know, first generation, Mexican till they die. Second generation, Mexican American. You know,
Third or fourth generation.
I don't
American.
even speak Spanish. You know, like who speaks Spanish? It's like you should. Guadalupe Maria Martinez.
Part of your heritage, man.
But that's the beauty of America, you know. It's like, what are you? I'm American, 100%. You know, the longer you're here, the more mixed you get.
Right.
So, how did I get on that?
I have no idea. I think you started that before I got back from getting my.
Something about immigration. Yep. I don't know how I got on that.
Another beer.
Oh, damn.
As a matter of fact, I will.
It's like 3 days in a row that you've been outpacing me in beering. What's going on here?
Yeah. Maybe some block has been removed.
Are you okay? Stress in life? Trying to escape your problems? Talk to me. Don't. I don't care. What are we drinking?
Dealer's choice, bro.
All right, man.
Remember, there's other things in the fridge too if we don't want to hit the kegs at this time. We have choices. Let's have a tumbleweed. All right.
Tumbleweed it is.
I mean, like I said, dealer's choice, but it's just like, hey, might as well.
Won't you meet me in Montana? Where are they?
Drawer.
don't know. I've got all sorts of beer in here. I'm just gonna live here. Not going home.
Beer. Wasn't always like that. Sometimes I'd be out of beer. It's like, whoa, shipmate, whoa.
Well,
Why are you out of beer? You know?
you
But lately, I have not been out of beer in a long time.
You fixed that horrible flaw in your character.
Right? I atoned.
You atoned?
And of course, I can't get this one off. It wants to be difficult. It is
Alright, we're going to
being
get pizza.
difficult. Okay.
Love you, Benny.
Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye. So now that's nothing. But I remember the look on your face the first time I said that to her. You were like, what the hell?
I'm taking the card.
Okay.
It made me laugh really hard. You were just like, oh, dude.
Yeah, it was unexpected, but like, yeah, whatever. You know.
Come on, man. You
No,
know
I know.
I love you.
At first, it was just like, what? Oh, nah. It's cool.
All right, so here we go. So you're not gonna get me to tell you my heritage because I really don't know what it is. I know I'm like half English, Irish, French, German, something or other. I don't know. But if you do ask me where I'm from, I will tell you I'm from Montana. And this is from Montana. This is brewed in my home state. Montana is just slightly bigger than England. So this is Tumbleweed IPA, which you've ever watched any sort of Western, you know what a tumbleweed is. We'll hold that up there for a minute. Not long enough to really read anything. I really hated the font and the color scheme they used. Made it really hard to read on this can.
Yeah, it's like a 90s website, man.
It is. It's exactly like a 90s website.
Remember those 90s website with black backgrounds? Come on, man.
Oh, yes, I do remember. That was the downfall of MySpace.
Fluorescent frickin', typeface and shit. Oh, there it is. PG.
There you go. It happens.
Sorry, man.
So this is what the Tumbleweed IPA looks like. Interestingly enough,
It's good stuff.
Okay, so this
Sunlight. Look at that.
Yep. This is more citrusy than the Cascadian Dark.
Ah, right.
If you ask me.
Well, hopefully next time I make that dark, it'll be more citrusy. Maybe not as citrusy as that, but it'll be more citrus. I'm gonna use citra hops next time.
So that was the one that you used. That was the sativa mistake.
Yeah, mistake. But I don't know if it's my mistake or the stocking of the shelf mistake.
Not gonna lie,
You know.
old Ben and Trevor are not completely innocent in these matters. Like the time that I went all the way down there and they didn't give me my yeast or my hops.
Oopsies. What did we end up doing?
We just skipped.
We just skipped that week? Okay.
There was nothing else that could be done. We don't have a brew supply store here in town.
It's not one that carries like it used to. I mean, the name's even changed now. It's no longer.
That's actually, if you ask me, that's a good thing.
Right.
because-
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like officially changed to a non. It's not indicative of a brew supply anymore.
Yeah, well, because that was very misleading. Brew supply, you go in there to get brew supplies and they don't have any.
No, but we got a bunch of beer on tap. It's like
It's like, that's great. And I don't mind
I'm here
drinking
for
beer, but
something else.
I'm here for yeast. You don't have any? We got this. This expired in 2018. Oh, got a little warm.
That was a little warm. Oh, jeez.
Got a welding gun?
Oh. I have a welder.
Huh? Well, actually, I do have a welder.
I mean, I have work gloves. Trying to keep down a little bit, actually. Just because it's coming over the sides,
Oh, that's how your spoon got hot.
Yeah.
I'm getting close. Getting close.
Oh, jeez. Trying to get my malts all nice and mixed. I didn't use I didn't pour it in. I didn't pour my malts in with the fire on, so
No scorching.
didn't get any scorching this time. Whew, that was warm. Foam's like licking the sides, you know.
My needle is vibrating.
It's just gonna. Ooh, that burned me pretty good.
Do you get an actual burn?
Possibly. We'll see. Hope it didn't burn me too bad because I mean it's my fretting hand for my guitar, you know.
Now we see how tough you are.
It'd be fine.
You're fine. Just play till they bleed. That's all you need to do.
Not the first nor the last time I ever burnt my hand.
So that should be boiling any minute now.
Oh, you're like on the cusp, huh?
Well, in fact, I'm going to take my thermometer out because I don't know if it's damaging my thermometer, but
Oh.
it's like it's pegged and going.
Actually, that's a good point. 'Cause at this point, we don't need to monitor the temperature.
Well, I left it in just to see, so I'm like at 220.
Oh, kind of
So-
knew when it was coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, any minute now it should
Oh,
start
shit, any
boiling.
minute now.
And of course,
So if I have more pretzel sticks if we need more snacks.
all right.
I was gonna bring chips up, but the pre-taste they were stale. I was like, no.
That's because you are more discerning than me.
Yes.
That's a good word, huh? Discerning. Another way of saying it is picky.
Yeah. Well, I don't like stale chips or stale bread.
Oh, I need my spoon.
To me, it's all about the experience. The
The
flavor,
experience.
food experience, you know.
Not gonna lie, I'm just about chewing on something. That's
I mean, a little staleness is fine, but these were just like, oh yeah, these have been here for a while.
just like soggy cardboard.
It's like, yeah.
Not even crisp cardboard, huh?
No, I was just like, no, we'll just. I threw them away. It was two bags, like 2 half-full bags. They've been,
Oh, really? That's a bummer.
they've been in the cupboard for like ever and a day. Well, you know, they'll buy chips and open it up and then forget about them, and then they'll buy another bag, open it up, forget about it, and, just,
Yeah.
and then me, I come along and I'm like super like detailed when it comes to the cupboard, and I'm like, oh, how long have these been here? You know.
9 months.
It's like, cardboard test. Yeah, we're not gonna. These are going in the garbage. I'm gonna feed the squirrels. You know.
And the problem with a lot of that junk food stuff, you can't even really feed it to animals.
No, it'll probably just make them sick. You know.
Yeah, because it's not good food. It's mainly just
Right.
cornmeal.
But the one thing I threw out,
binders.
on the yard is the bread. You know, as far as
Yeah, the birds can kill the bread.
you know,
Bread's not-
stale bread. You know, I don't throw moldy bread up. It's moldy. I throw it in the garbage. But like any kind of stale bread that I know has been sitting for a while, it's like, yeah, no one's gonna eat that. You know, I'm just gonna toss it. So I'll throw it out in the yard. The birds, the squirrels eat it. But yeah, chips I don't usually toss out because, especially if they're like flavored chips, that powdery crap like Doritos and
Yeah.
stuff, that just probably make them sick.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything good for an animal.
There were a couple of deer in the yard Friday morning. I'm
Like
like,
they
I
say
don't have
that-
any apples yet.
They say that with the chickens.
Yeah.
They're like, you can feed your chickens a lot of stuff from the table that you made. They're saying you probably don't want to do too much real salty foods. So don't feed your chickens stuff that's too salty.
Right.
But they say don't just feed them any old junk like your chips and your popcorn. They're like, it's not that good.
It's got a
It's
bunch
not
of
good for
processed
them.
crap on it. It's not good for them. Yeah.
I'm wondering if my flame went out.
Yeah, I don't see any fire. Here, man, get your gas on. Here you go. Get your gas on, but not your gear acquisition syndrome.
And now, folks, we know why I'm the lyricist in this band. Death Roll!
Intro. Yes, I am not a lyricist.
Steve
I'm
does the
gonna
guitar
try.
work.
I'm gonna try.
All right, man. I will support you. I'll be behind you all the way. I might have earplugs in, but I'll be there.
We're gonna have earplugs in anyway.
Well, that's because we play at 140 decibels.
It's because you have a drum set.
It's not my fault.
So we have to, play. You told me to turn up that one day even.
That's because you were playing weakly and too soft. You needed to be louder. No, the drums are
All
loud.
jokes aside, you're like, hey man, actually you need to turn up. We were both laughing about it. You're like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you need to turn your amp up, It was funny. Yeah.
So what was that, a 4x12 with what, a 50-watt head going into it?
Full on half stack for anybody who knows what that means.
But we were in a 10-foot by 20-foot room.
Yeah.
With a big rock drum set. My drum set is not a jazz set. It's a rock and roll drum set.
No, all my amp heads are 100 watt.
Even the angle? It's 100 watt per channel? Oh, really? All right, so 100 watt into what is that? That's a 4x12, right?
4x12, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of power. It's like, you're darn right we're wearing earplugs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything higher than 100 watts because I know a couple of the Engels that are out there, like the Engel Savage. There's a 60-watt version and there's a 120-watt version. There's another amp head I want eventually. What I'll do is I'll get it and probably get rid of something else and just kind of swap it out. It's an EVH 5150. It's the special EL34. This thing's 100 watt to 150 watts.
How's my flame doing down there?
It's a little high actually.
Watch it while I do this, because I can't see it. Tell me when.
Are you trying to lower it down?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it's getting smaller now, yeah. Like you had it really high, like it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing under
Put a
control.
jet engine on there for a minute. Oh yeah, you got kind of an old arrestor going, but it won't hurt anything.
No, but I'm going to get it under control before I add the hops.
Yeah.
Because
I got you.
I think I'm going to do 1 ounce, 1 ounce.
Did you get your hops up?
No, I didn't. They're still over in the fridge.
I'll get them up for you. Do you want I'm gonna do the Irish Moss thing again, but do you want Irish Moss or do you want to do a roll flat?
Oh,
Actually,
why don't I just
I'm gonna do a really flat this time.
Right.
I'm kind of trying to compare what I like better.
Oh, well, tell you what. Then I'm just going to stick with Whirly Flock unless you figure out it's like, wow, Irish Moss really has a big difference.
Yeah, I'm just experimenting a little bit, so.
All right, I'm thinking that's pretty under control. So just toss me Hallertau. Hallertau.
Yeah, he has German hops, man.
What's wrong with German hops?
Nothing.
You're racist against Germans, aren't you?
I have some Northern Brew. That's grab it. Something tells me I didn't grab enough hops.
Really? What do you mean?
Hold on, let me. Oh, never mind. I'm good. I'm good.
You're good.
Alright.
What do you mean you didn't grab enough? What were you thinking?
I thought I needed another pouch of Cascade, but I didn't. Because these come in 1 ounce, sections.
All right.
You know what I mean?
So this is for anybody who's made it this far into the replay because you haven't been watching live. So obviously we're getting to the replay. This is Hallertau Mittelfrüh alpha acid of 4.2. I actually went with a low alpha acid on purpose because I don't want to overbitter this beer. I want it to retain a little bit of sweetness. So this one says, as a bittering hop, of course, it's just a bittering hop. It's just going to do what it does. But as a flavor hop, it's got sweet, herbal, and notes of sweet spice and dried flowers, which is going to work really well for what I want out of this beer. That's right about where I want it. I'm going to add the second set of hops at the 5-minute mark. Kind of let the hops come a little bit more forward with this one.
Right.
See what happens. It's not going to be an IPA by any means. I'm using Hallertau, but at the same time, it's going to let the hops move a little bit forward in it. And there we go. Oh, where's my phone? And now, Set the timer again. This time for 1 hour. All right, timer started.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Are you doing popcorn?
No, I just randomly sang something. You went bum bum bum, and I went dun 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 dun.
Oh, I thought you were doing that popcorn song.
No, that's. Change key. Okay. I actually love that song, by the way.
Yeah, I
It's
remember.
just like nauseatingly addictive. Like, oh, popcorn, turn it up.
Yeah, I've heard various versions of it.
Mm-hmm. Some are better than others.
Some on synth, some on MIDI sounds. Some.
Mm-hmm. I actually don't like the original as much as some of the remakes of it.
Oh, okay.
I think some people have improved it just by their choice in sounds. You know? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a textbooker, man.
Textbook.
Textbook.
That is exactly how it would be. Charlie
Papazian.
Papazian. He would like, that is exactly what I wrote about in my book, which is text. Therefore, it is a text book
Textbook oil.
as opposed to a picture book. Right?
Yeah.
So really, when you think of textbook, to a great extent, it's kind of a redundant term. Textbook. Textbook. I guess it's not 100% good. You gotta, what's that? It's a good thing you have a mop.
Yeah. Right? I think mine's getting close because it's kind of going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that foam layer on top is moving every now and then.
Okay, now we're gonna make noise. Oh, I need to roll my carboy over.
Oh yeah. Should ruin your carboy.
Did you notice that I actually remembered the little stopper thing?
Oh yeah.
Forgot my spoon, but I remembered the little rubber stopper. Oh.
I should have grabbed one the other day. I realized I was short one. Because one of my carboys that's being stored has a stopper with a hole in it right now. But it's one of the water lock stoppers. Yeah.
I store my water locks in my empty carboys.
But it's fine. I think it's on that one right now, actually.
Ah, sure enough. But the thing is like, it's not a big deal because we let's step off camera.
Go ahead and kill the light. Sun coming out. We'll be fine. Even the bots aren't watching today, so
That's all right.
it's fine.
It's our own private video log.
It is. It is. Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think about using it for it, but it truly is because we say what our beers are at the very beginning of the video.
Right.
We don't have.
Yeah. Hey, go watch this one.
Yeah, it's not like we have to dig, like randomly scroll through a 3-hour video to figure out what kind of beers we make. It's
No.
right at the beginning.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take advantage of this time to clean up a little bit.
All right, you do that. You guys can just watch pots.
Nobody's watching.
They're watching, dude. In spirit.
In spirit. In spirit.
Don't be a negative Nancy, man. We're on the cusp of fame. All right, no, we're not.
No.
Not even remotely.
I'm not even gonna respond to that because I know damn well that that's just not the case, man.
Yeah.
If that's okay though. Nope. Kill the broadcast even, man. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I don't care. Let it roll for now, because we're still going to be sitting around doing nothing.
True.
But no, I agree with
As
you.
soon as I have to break off and start rinsing. And,
Yeah, once we got to start moving, yeah, there's no point. If we ever get the Brudio going, then maybe we can leave.
He said Brudio.
Brudio, man. Might get the Brudio going. We might need a little more. Wow. That little tiny nudge was pretty dramatic in the pot.
Nice. Here we go.
All right. And it begins.
And now we start with the long term.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I find the hot break fascinating.
Chemistry, you know?
Well, I mean, because it's like this clear liquid, right? Like when it's just hot and it's just the tea, and you add the sugars to it, or the extract. Which way is down for you?
Right, Italian.
Let me know. I think you're good.
Yeah. You're right. Just a wee bit foamy, you know.
Which is weird because you didn't have any DME. Usually the DME makes it super foamy. Every last pellet. Every last pellet. Everyone. Anyways, as I was saying, I just think it's really cool because you've got this clear liquid, right? Everything's dissolved in it. It's clear. And then you heat it up to boiling, and all of a sudden all those things precipitate out, and you can see those little chunks in there floating around.
Oh, yeah, right.
I just think it's really cool. I blame you.
I blame you.
It's stuck in my head now.
Sorry, here's out.
Bipolar weather ever.
I know, right?
It was raining super duper hard. Like I had to run.
Oh, I know. A minute ago it was raining like a crazy. Like now all of a sudden it's all sunny.
And now it's sunny.
That's aggressive.
Like it's stupid.
So once, when I was much younger, when I was still living in Montana, like I was like 17 or so like 30 years ago, more. Anyways, used to like to go do horseback riding with my friend John, right? All cowboy style, of course, but still, we'd go for a ride. And we got to the pasture, and it was like 65 degrees. And so we're in just like shirts, jeans, throw the saddles on the horses, right? Let's go for a ride, and off we go. And we're like 6, 7, 8 miles from home, and it started to get cooler. And so we were turning around anyways. So we turned around, and we're riding back, and the temperature dropped, and the temperature dropped, and the temperature dropped. And it was below freezing before we got back.
What? That's crazy.
Like, literally just hands couldn't feel the reins type deal. Just like, I know the reins are still in my hands because I can see them in my hands. But I can't actually feel them. Crazy. Like when we got all the way back, it was just freezing. Actually had to shove our hands up under the saddle blankets, under the saddles next to the horse to warm our hands up enough to actually undo the latigos and everything and pull the saddles off and the bridles because you couldn't move your hands. It was so cold. And that was it was literally in the course of like 4 or 5 hours. It just plummeted 40 degrees plus. Just,
That is quite a rapid change.
yeah, that was a crazy summer.
That happened to me on a motorcycle one time. It was like during the day, it was all nice and stuff, you know.
Right?
And then it was November time frame of that particular year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, man, like 5 o'clock hit and the temperature dropped and I couldn't feel my hands. I couldn't, like, the clutch and braking, I was guessing.
Yeah.
Because it was my fault for not having gloves, but it was just like, oh, wow. That's quite a difference in temperature now, you know.
You know, one of the guys at work was talking about, he took a bike ride and he was talking about how the temperature changed so much. But the difference is he came off the coast.
Oh, okay.
And then he rode up into the mountains. And it's like, oh, it got cold. It's like, yeah, you are changing geographical
Elevation,
areas. Yeah. You know, I don't know about your motorcycle ride. Yes, textbook.
No, I was in Florida, so it was all flat. You know, I didn't change elevation. It was just
it got that cold in Florida.
It was just a rapid weather change in the fall. You know, which was was kind of weird. I'm like, wow, it's Florida. You know,
right?
Like once the evening hit, yeah, that temperature that particular day it just dropped so bad, and like I was getting kind of nervous getting home because I couldn't feel the clutch and the brake. You know.
Even to this day, man, I've always got cold weather gear in my car.
Yeah.
Whether it's a blanket or a jacket or something hanging around.
Yeah, I used to keep a jacket in the back seat of that truck. I might put one back in there just in case. You never know, man. This weather's so weird sometimes.
I guess, you know, the thing is that even though I have a phone, my mental schema is still from the days where if something went wrong, you had to figure your way out.
Right.
You know, people like that, people don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
They don't.
Somebody. Yeah.
You know, you don't have to plan. You don't have to be prepared. You don't have to worry about getting through. Make a phone call. Somebody saved me. When I was a kid, man, I called my
evolution of technology and society, man. You
know. Right. So I think that means that we need to go on even more exciting adventures where we can get to the point where you still got to figure it out if things go south. That happened to me a couple of times. Called my folks once from the middle of nowhere, Montana, a payphone collect call.
Collect call.
And they're like, yes, why are you calling us collect? I'm like, I am broke down 100 miles from you. And they said, good luck. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Really? They weren't able to come get me? I was about 100 miles. That's about how far away it was.
Oh, okay. Was it before the Navy or?
Oh, yeah. This is between graduating from high school, because I didn't join the Navy straight out.
I know. Yeah, you went.
I bounced around a little bit. But yeah, it was definitely you'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Like, well, they just didn't have the resources to come save my stupid ass. I mean,
it was a good life lesson too, in a sense. It's like, well,
oh, that was a crazy.
You know, people. I don't know how much self-reliance is taught these days. I know I teach my kids that just because I'm old school.
None.
But
None.
I don't know if the modern family teaches self-reliance anymore.
Well, look at something as simple as bullying.
Oh, I know, right?
Seriously. I mean,
That's become ridiculous.
I'm not saying that bullying is a good thing.
No, but we were taught to stand up to bullies. Like, you know what?
It's like,
you know,
he's a bully. It's like, yeah, I know he's a bully. He's mean. It's like, you're gonna have to hit him. You're gonna have, or maybe not necessarily hit him. But you're gonna have to stand up to him.
Stand your ground.
And that was an accepted way, and it was a life lesson both for the bully and for the person being bullying. It's like, yeah, you're developing character because you've got to stand up. Don't do that anymore. You've got to get somebody else to help you and save you.
And then like online bullying, it's like it's online. Seriously?
Yeah, I don't.
Who cares?
I don't understand that.
Sorry, I
but
gotta go off camera again.
that's all right.
I don't mean to jump. I don't mean to kill the conversation.
We live in a different. Go. I'll stare at the screen and look handsome. I'm good at that. No. But seriously, bullying was, it used to be that you hit the bully. That's how you fixed it. Maybe you got your butt kicked. Happens. I mean, it was a, two 10-year-olds beating each other. The 10-year-olds aren't going to do much. I mean, at the age of 40, yeah, if someone hits me, it's going to hurt. I'm going to cry. I want my mommy. But really, it was just, back then, that's how you dealt with it. Now, it's like this quasi-felony to be a bully. But if you stand up for yourself, oh my goodness, now you're a criminal because you actually stood up. It's like always letting someone else save you. Someone else save you. No, you got to save yourself. Save yourself. Jeez. And that's across the spectrum, whether it be financial hard times or wanting to excel in a career or whatever names it. It's like, do not ask someone else to do it for you. You've got to do it yourself. Look at me and Steve. We don't even let beer companies save us anymore. We make our own beer. We're doing it ourselves. And if we could grow our own barley, I don't know. I've done gardening, grown up around farming. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. A lot of work. So maybe not that far. Maybe there's some use for the system. But the point is just being ridiculously reliant on other people for things that you should be able to do yourselves. Things that you should be able to get yourself out of a jam. You shouldn't have to call someone to save you every single time. I mean, on the flip side, it's kind of cool because you can, and it makes things easier, but it also makes us softer. It makes us weaker. We're not as resilient. We're not as tough. And if you ask me, that's a problem. So there you go. This has been Jamey on Self-Reliance. Tune in next week, actually the week after next week, to hear Jamey speak more about self-reliance or something. All right, let's check Discord. Share this in Discord. Nobody's reacted yet. Let's check Twitter. Nobody's reacted in Twitter either. Nobody loves us. It's okay though. So I'm good being self-reliant. Did I just block a couple keywords and phrases so I can safely Twitter between now and the finale without spoiling myself again this week? I did not know you could block keywords. I thought you just blocked people. That's interesting. So ordinarily, I'd have someone to talk to, but he's doing something. I don't know exactly what it is. It might be time to kill the broadcast. Because I really am running out of things to talk about, things to say. All I have is my precious phone here. I've got 33 minutes until I add my next set of hops. Yeah. So you're sitting here watching me surf on my phone. What could we talk about? What could we talk? You want to talk about Roe versus Wade? I don't know. That's a little too controversial. That could get a little dicey. Get explosive. We do have an international audience with millions of views on that particular topic. Could talk about the fact that I'm running low on beer. Tumbleweed IPA out of Helena, Montana, United States. For those of you that don't know where Montana is, it's about 2/3 of the way across, starting from the East Coast. 1/3 of the way across if you start from the West Coast.
Okay.
Way up by Canada, just south of Canada. And for those
Sorry
of you
about
that
that. I'm back.
aren't super geographical, yes, Canada is a real country. It exists way, way up north.
Yeah.
Very few people live there. How many people do live in Canada? I think there's more people in Washington than there are in the entire country of Canada.
What is up with this weather? Like 15 minutes ago, it was raining.
I know,
Now it's bright and sunny, and like I almost feel like I need to go get my sunglasses.
right?
You know, seriously.
Oh, we could return to 2-row barley versus 6-row. So 6-row, so 2-row has 2 kernels. They grow symmetrical, and they're about the same size, and they grow up in a row. All right, 6-row.
I want to interrupt you for a second. We might want to keep an eye on the time because we still got to rinse bottles.
I got an eye on the time.
Okay.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Just looked. Yada. 6-row barley, yada. So 6-row barley has these symmetrical centers, but the lateral rolls are shorter, thinner, and twisted. So you gotta separate out these various sizes of kernels, these barley kernels. Distribution is important. Yada, one small thing. The plumper kernels are generally reblended. It uses a brewer's malt. Thinner ones have higher enzymatic activity, may be sold as distilled malt. The thinnest kernels are sold as feed. In the 60s, a 6-row cultivar called Larker significantly reduced the size difference between the kernels. Since now new cultivars have supplanted Larker, which is no longer used as a
I
malted
don't know
barley.
what those words are.
Larker is a name. Larker's a name.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like Crescent Ranch or Clean.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Plumpness in 6-row barley continues to increase for 2-row varieties. Why are you making fun of this incredibly important information? Why do we care about plumpness? Plumpness? Now you got me
Tell us
laughing.
about plumpness.
I'm about to tell you about plumpness. Is a moderate indicator of malt extract yield, though these days 6-row barley's yield is only 1 to 2% lower than 2-row. 6-row pros, more protein, less starch, thicker husk. Higher protein levels help speed conversion to fermentable sugar, so it turns into a wort faster. Important to home brewers, excuse me, 6-row has higher enzyme content for converting the starch into sugars. More enzymes means it can convert adjunct starches, which lack or are deficient in enzymes during mashing. Offset this with more less expensive adjunct grain use, and you know why so many large breweries use 6-row. All right, 6-row is less expensive per pound. Further cost cutting. Did you just mess with mine, or was that yours?
What did I mess with yours?
Well, that wasn't so much as like, how dare you mess with mine? More like, was mine boiling over?
Oh, no.
All right.
Yeah, no, I would only mess with yours if something was as bad as that.
Well, that's what I was
You know?
thinking. I was like, was that going crazy?
No, mine seemed just a tad bit aggressive, so I was just.
Gotcha. So 6-row is cheaper. You can use other adjuncts because the 6-row stuff offsets the higher protein levels. Supplementing 2-row malt with some 6-row might increase extraction, conversion time, and fermentability, particularly if you have a higher percentage. 6-row yields more per acre, so farmers will like it because they can get more barley per acre. Thicker husks improve the filter bed for lautering. Okay, so actually, it has, there's some advantages to it. And you Europeans over there don't like it. What the heck? I just read that on here. They said this. The very first line was, "This is a very American question."
Oh, okay.
Because everybody except Americans just use 6-row to feed animals.
Gotcha.
So the cons: more susceptible to the formation of dimethyl sulfide, a process begun through protein breakdown in the malting. Some dimethyl sulfide is acceptable, but too much may contribute to a cooked or sweet corn flavor. Okay. Higher protein content can result in more break material during wort boiling and cooling, which can cause protein haze. Pay attention to this extra hot break for coagulation and removal. Oh, whirly flack!
Oh yeah, row fly.
Oh, I got 32 minutes left. We got lots of time. All right, never mind.
I'll just get it ready
Yeah, we're okay.
because I am Mr. Prepared.
I know you're much better at this. I rely on you. You do not know how much I rely on you. So higher protein, so more break material during wort boiling and cooling, so you can get protein haze.
For you?
Oh, thank you. Just put it right here.
And for me?
Higher protein indicates less starch for conversion. 6-row barley contains from 12 to 13% protein, whereas 2-row is only 11 to 13. Malting doesn't change the protein levels much. High protein levels can lengthen steeping time in the malting process, causing erratic germination, particularly if low and high protein barleys are mixed to meet protein limits for malt. That gets a little beyond what we will ever do, even as all-grain brewers. High proteins can lead to other beer quality issues like color control. Syrup adjuncts and sucrose syrups are prepared by enzymatically hydrolyzing cornstarch into fermentable sugars. That was a mouthful. It's added to wort in fermentable form, which can take the wort over acceptable enzyme and soluble protein levels if you're using 6-row barley cultivars. Not going to lie, I only understood about 47% of what I just read. Although I got the basic gist.
Well, this is obviously very chemistry oriented.
Right.
That explanation.
But I did get the basic gist, is that some of the advantages to it is that it has, wow, you came from behind. I was ahead of you. One more time. Okay, he knows what we're getting. So, 2-row pros. Greater drought tolerance. You can make more beer from 2-row than from 6-row. Okay. Lower enzyme content, lower protein, greater starch, thinner husk. Make it better suited to higher extract. Less obvious at the homebrew scale. More concern for large breweries. Arguably gives beer a mellower flavor than 6-row. So that one's kind of the actual flavor impact of these two different types of barleys is kind of like the jury's still out. 2-row cons. Lower diastatic power of 2-row becomes an issue when a large proportion of unmalted adjunct grain is used. So let's say they're adding a lot of torrefied wheat to the mash, then the lower diastatic power will be a problem. Diastatic. Enzymatic. Diastatic is a word for enzymatic. Both these are big words.
I'm going to use those words in my beer songs.
I thought I was writing the lyrics.
Somehow.
All right,
You were helping me because I'm
Okay.
a lyricist.
you write the lyrics. I will just help.
I'm going to read you a stanza. You're going to be like, no, dude, just no.
It's like, Steve, I am trying as hard as I can, but diacetyl rest is just not going to fit.
It's just not going to fit, man. You got to think of something else, dude. But,
All right.
but.
So, I guess the big breweries generally use far more adjunct grains than they strictly need. Large amount of adjuncts tend to have little body and less maltiness. Oh, dang it. Well, we're not in danger, though.
No danger, Will Robinson. Just a little aggressive.
I'll give it a brief
All right,
overview.
so I have 30
8 minutes left on my boil.
Yeah,
Which means you
I've
should
got
have significantly less. So
28 minutes and 30 seconds.
that means there's only 10 minutes between our boils.
Yeah, because
That's a little weird.
well, I spent so much time because mine was going freaking great.
And we're
Well, I
now
said freaking.
not rated R. Nope, we're PG-13.
PG-13, good enough. And yeah, it took me time to get mine under control because it was going nuts. So yeah, I didn't start the timer until later. But yeah, I'm still ahead of you. We'll be good.
Okay, I'm just thinking about the wort chiller.
I know exactly what you're thinking.
It's still in a soap bath right now. It needs to be cleaned up, rinsed off.
Actually, to be honest, now's probably a good time. All right, folks. Thanks for none of you for tuning in. We appreciate that. It was awesome. I'm Jamey.
I'm Steve.
And we're the Northwest Brewmeisters. We had a good time, even though nobody watched this. Maybe somebody will watch it in the future. You know, it's fine. And they'll love us and they'll come visit us and drink beer with us.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Maybe they'll teach us how to make other beers.
Yeah.
African beers. New Zealand beers. Any sorts of beers. Yeah? Huh? Beers forever. Beer forever. All right.
Beer forever.
So,
Being aggressive.
Stop it. You ready to do the tagline? You ready? All right. Relax.
Don't worry.
Have a home brew.
And
And click.
because it's live, we can't edit that out. All right.